Hold up, man, give me all your money. Man being robbed. But I'm a politician. Hold up, man, well then give me all my money. Pretty much does say it. Hey, I gotta say, the teachers' unions, these are the very same people who said, hey, your children can't come back to school because the union says they can't. And they went on and on. And now they're saying, hey, you all can come back to school, but we have to teach you what we want to teach you. And it's a critical race theory. And how dare you not teach it, you teachers they're talking to. And if you don't teach it, we're going to sue you and we're going to kick you out of the brownies, right? Hey, the world, it's upside down. I mean, really? It should be up to the parents, shouldn't it? Shouldn't they have some kind of say in this thing? But the union, teachers union in America, they become so strong that somebody needs to go in and kind of cut them down a notch, and that should be parents. Public schools, holy, maybe it's time for private schools everywhere. I mean, I don't know the solution other than it should be political. Politicians, get in there. The parents, they have wishes, and the wishes are to have their children in school and they're taught stuff like arithmetic and other neat kind of things, right? Not about, hey, let's hug our fellow gendered person. Okay, my name is Rhonda Kennedy. I get these emails. I'm an attorney, law school dean, mother of 6 children, and a proud black Republican, and I'm a candidate for Congress. When I get to Congress, I will sue the crap out of the Democrats. I like her style, and I've watched her videos, and I've read her stuff, and I like this gal. The only thing that I don't like is it's this color thing all of the time. I'm a proud black candidate, right? Republican. Can't we just say Republican? I don't know anymore, but everybody seems to have to be positioned with a color. I mean, this girl is good. I don't care what color she is. I think she'll do a great job. And hey, Ronda, I hope you win. And you're in California. California needs you. During the campaign, his campaign, Joe Biden promised that I will build back better, right? I guess he only meant for some Americans, certainly not for everybody. Minority farmers, for instance, he rescued them. Only black farmers for $4 billion. And if you're white, save your ink, you can't apply, right? And if you do apply, we won't give you a check. So I went to court, and the judge said, you can't do that. That's prejudice stuff. The good news in America is they have a constitution, right? And whereas in places like Canada, they do not. If a Joe Biden was in Canada, oh boy, it would be a real mess. Couldn't be any messier than it is. I had to re-say that, but rethink that. But Biden he continues to do this. Only non-white farmers were hurt during the pandemic, apparently, according to Biden, because he's giving money to everybody except white folk. There's a 3-judge panel in the U.S. now in the 4th Circuit that they ruled that the handgun ban against adults under 21 is also unconstitutional. Hey, Biden, keep on going, huh? Everything you do, all of these left-wing nonsense things that we read about and hear about every day, they usually get kicked back. That's the Constitution. That's the Supreme Court and so many other courts also before it even gets to the Supreme Court. God bless America. You know what? So we think. Kind of like Obama when he was there. We think every day that we've got this big transition going. To a degree, that's accurate, but generally speaking, it isn't, because the court comes in and says you can't do that. We have changes now in the US of A in the political alignment of the country. It's kind of interesting stuff. Some 65% of Americans make more than $500,000 a year are Democrats. 74% of those who are in less than $100,000 a year are Republican. These Democrats, aren't they the socialists who say the rich should pay and there shouldn't be any rich folk, and on they go. But, go to Silicon Valley and you probably will find a whole bunch of them right there. 2 and 3 Republicans in the South. 2 and 3, that's like 65, 66%, and almost half of the Democrats in Pacific states, they say, hey, we want to get out of this mess. We want to secede from the Union. Really? Because Biden, he keeps on bringing up the Civil War all of the time. Why is he doing that? That's a bit of a mystery. He says, you know what? The GOP, the voting, the this, the that, and the Capitol Hill riots, that's all kind of somehow tied into the Civil War. Joel, you're old enough. Maybe you were there. Whose command were you under anyway? Jason Kenney. Moving fast here. Keeping up, are you? Jason Kenney, he is the premier of Alberta. And the federal government has beat up, particularly the Prime Minister Trudeau, they beat Alberta up a lot. They just, everything they can do, they just continue to bang and slap and take their money and take the jobs away, cancel the jobs and so on. And yet this Prime Minister comes to Alberta and Kenney welcomes him. Welcome to Alberta. These politicians. You know what, if somebody does that to you as a person, would you welcome them into your home? Probably not. You'd probably punch them, right? Anyway, Kenney, he looks back, and that prime mistake, by the way, is a liberal. Who knew that? But Kenney says, I look back with fondness to former liberal people. This is a guy that says he's a conservative. If he's a conservative, I'll bark like a fox. But he says this, when you look back, that a period of liberalism unleashed a period of prosperity. And McLellan, Paul Martin, and some others, I miss that kind of liberal. Well, let's kind of break that down. Paul Martin, is this the same guy that took $200 million, almost $250 million of taxpayers' money and gave it to himself? And he went and he bought some ships to add to his fleet, the shipping line, moved the ships to some place in the Caribbean, has never paid a cent in tax to Canada, and there's a long list of things that these liberals do. And Kenney says, oh, I miss the prosperity. For who? Sure isn't for Albertans. And then Anne McLellan. Is this the same liberal lawyer person that put in this law, one of many, that immigrants, when they come to Canada, lawyers, they get their legal fee, but now Canadian taxpayers get to pay, I think it's $50,000 for each and every case, just as a bonus. So all of these lawyers who are, politicians, former politicians, they join law firms like McLellan. Is it McLellan? Am I pronouncing that correct? McLellan? I think so. They join big law firms, and the immigrants, they just come through those revolving doors, and they just, ka-ching, ka-ching, another $50,000 bill, another $50,000 bill. They're making like tens and tens of millions of dollars, maybe weekly, certainly monthly, I think. And this guy that leads Alberta says, oh, I miss them. Hey, you won't be missed when you leave, I can tell you that. BC Liberal members, they got a letter. I got one. Why did I get one? I ain't a member of the BC Liberal Party. Bah. In any event, I did get the letter, the email, and the guy says, let's change our party's name. And he goes on to say, that's a good idea. Well, firstly, there are some people in the party, because there's no Conservative Party in British Columbia, that are conservative. I understand that. But the name is Liberal. I mean, I went to vote one time, and I started to shake when I saw that word, Liberal. I couldn't do it. So he wants to change the name. There's a little bit of merit to that, but not a whole bunch, because the people don't change. That's like saying, hey, you're a hooker. People don't like the name, we're going to call you an escort. It's the same person. You have to kind of change what the party does. You have to change what the person does. And then the name change kind of means something, otherwise not so much. Gun control, well, last thing of the day, gun control is stupid. Government does not have the right to take my rights away. It is my right to defend myself. And anyway, there's a proven statistic that criminals commit fewer crimes after they are shot. Hey, y'all come back tomorrow. See ya.